coming up on Grady Newsource. Vice President Kamala Harris holds a campaign rally in Atlanta. A family-owned farm hosts a food pantry to help families in need for the holidays, and how one woman turns her life-altering experience into helping her community. That and more coming up on Grady Newsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College of the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Good evening, I'm Faith James, and this is Grady Newsource. Vice President Kamala Harris came to Atlanta this weekend, holding a rally on Saturday and visiting churches on Sunday. Grady Newsource reporter Sydney Rainwater brings us highlights from the rally.
Vice President Kamala Harris speaking to supporters at a rally at Lakewood Amphitheater, where Georgians lined up to show their support.
I'm super excited to see that she'll be the first Black female president. It's exciting. It's life-changing, especially for young people like Savannah.
Harris spoke to voters like Janiyah about middle and working class issues, reproductive rights, and looking toward the future. She spoke about her Opportunity Economics plan to help young Americans get started.
And so I have laid out a comprehensive plan to lower the cost that you pay on everything from prescription medication to groceries. And this will be my focus every single day as President of the United States.
Speakers including Representative Nikema Williams, Usher, and Senator John Ossoff joined Harris, encouraging people to get out and vote. Political scientist Dr. Audrey Haynes says this strategy is right on track.
So 2 weeks in, persuadables, you've persuaded whoever you can. You've got to mobilize your voters.
Right now, polls suggest that Trump is leading in Georgia. But Haynes says polls are hard to rely on this close to Election Day.
The polls tend to get closer and closer. And since they're already so close to begin with, whatever movement we see is within the margin of error.
Even if polls aren't in Harris's favor, her Georgia supporters were encouraged by her speech.
I think Kamala killed it. I thought she was more energetic tonight than she's been at her other rallies.
For Grady Newsource, this is Sydney Rainwater in Atlanta.
Following the campaign trail, former President Donald Trump was in Philadelphia on Sunday, a swing state in the upcoming election, and was serving food at McDonald's. Trump will be in Zebulon and Duluth, Georgia this Wednesday, holding events. Tomorrow, another debate for the Western Judicial Circuit District Attorney will be held. Grady Newsource reporter Nigel Whittington joins us live from the newsroom with what the candidates had to say at the last Tuesday's debate.
Thanks, Faith. So Tuesday's debate started with both candidates making a case why they needed to be elected. Deborah Gonzalez is the Democrat who is asking for another term to fulfill her vision for crime and punishment. On the other side, we've got Kalki Yalamachili, focused on helping nonviolent offenders get the resources they need. Gonzalez is the Democrat, and she's the current DA of the Western Circuit and has had that term since 2021, and she's seeking a second term. Criminal justice reform was a key piece of her campaign, and it's what she spoke about in last Tuesday's debate.
If there is a use of force incident, if there is an officer involved shooting, there's a certain objectivity that we have to have with these officers. We cannot be hand in hand with them because we actually...
Now on the other side, we've got independent Kalki Yalamachili. Yalamachili uses his resources and rehabilitation as a key point for the nonviolent offenders, trying to get them that resource and those things that they need. He had this to say at Tuesday's debate.
Connect people who are accused of a crime that's nonviolent with resources in the community that can help them address the underlying substance abuse, mental health, or other issue they're facing that brought them into contact with the criminal justice system to begin with, and get back to living a healthy life and being a part of their family and contributing to their community.
Election for the Western Judicial Circuit District Attorney is on November 5th, but the next debate is coming up soon. It's going to be at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, October 22nd at Piedmont Athens Regional Medical Services Building. It's going to be the auditorium on Talmadge Drive. Back to you, Faith.
Thanks, Nigel. A shooting incident at Albany State University left 1 dead and 5 injured during their homecoming weekend. Today, I spoke with Raven Dunham, a student at ASU. Let's take a look.
Why don't you talk me through like how you're feeling about this and like how you feel about your safety at the school, just everything that has been going through your head lately.
The student body here are trying to, in the community, are trying to just recover from the incident that happened. It's kind of difficult to take something so big for the community, something so important for us, and for it to be just thrown off by a tragic event it's a lot to deal with.
What are your hopes with safety and them being improved since obviously this happened?
Police on campus, the police for Albany in general could do a better job or find a better avenue of controlling the crowd and just being there for us to make sure that we are secure and that we are safe during this time, because we're just here to have fun. Homecoming is a big event for us. We wait. This is like one of the biggest things that we wait on all year. Like, we really enjoyed it. So we want to just have that sense of security in the back of our mind to know that there's nothing going to happen to us when we're out there.
And what are your hopes for the future when it comes to school safety and the school, helping students deal with their mental health? Because obviously this was a super traumatic event for anybody who attends the university.
I don't know if they think that it's supposed to be something that's common or anything, and that we're just supposed to wake up and deal with it. But this stuff has a really huge effect on a lot of people, and people have lost their lives in our city, and a lot of students are scared. And I just feel like the university could be more open-minded to our mental health.
Now we turn to Jackson County, where a family farm is fighting food insecurity by hosting canned food drives. Grady Newsource reporter Tori Newman shows us more.
Siblings Carol Dollar and Chris Hayes are dedicating their fall event lineup at Cottonwood Farms to ease food security in the Jackson County community during the holiday season.
Food insecurity is greater more challenging during these months. So that's why we decided to partner with them right now.
With the holidays just weeks away, 1 in 7 people face food insecurity in Northeast Georgia alone, and 11.9% of people face it in Jackson County. Partnering with WH Food Pantry, visitors were encouraged to bring a non-perishable or canned food item to receive $2 off admission to the farm's pumpkin patch and attractions. Courtney Prater has lived in Jackson County all her life and runs the food pantry completely in her free time to help those in the community around her.
We're hoping to have the food pantry completely stocked so we can feed. Our goal is 20 families for Thanksgiving.
According to the American Farm Bureau Federation, the average price of a Thanksgiving dinner in America has increased almost $30 from 2003 to 2023.
In times like these, especially the fall and winter months, there's a lot of unexpected, expenses with Christmas and heating bills and things like that.
The average price of a 16-pound turkey alone nearly cost shoppers almost $30 last year.
I feel like it's gotten worse the last few years, and we have had a lot of people reach out to us just needing help and needing a little extra love.
Cottonwood Farms will continue hosting events every weekend until November 2nd. Dollar said the farm will continue to support WH Food Pantry's goal to put food on the Thanksgiving table, and will announce their next food drive on the farm's Facebook page. For Grady Newsource, I'm Tori Newman.
Several recalls in the past few days have raised consumer concern. Grady Newsource reporter Jackson Rowland explains the recalls and tells us what we should know.
Treehouse Foods Incorporated released a new recall announcement over the weekend, which included everyday items such as frozen waffle products. These recalls were due to a possible contamination of Listeria.
Listeria is a foodborne pathogen. It's most concerned with those cold products, right? You destroy it by using heat. So you find it more in your ready-to-eat products. So you're talking about your sausages, your salads, waffles, things like that.
It's estimated that about 260 people die from Listeria per year, according to the CDC, which is why consumers should check if the products in their home are on a recall list. You can find these on the FDA website.
Basically, if you have Listeria, you think you have Listeria in a food product that can be heated, you can heat it up and still have it safe for consumption. However, in my perspective, I would throw that product away if you have any concern about Listeria.
Consumers should be cautious with the products on the recall list, but should not be scared of most products.
And people are scared sometimes of eating anything, and we don't want that. At the same time, we want consumer to be educated, and we want to make sure that the consumer is aware that for the most part, most of the food supply is pretty safe in this country.
Keeping you informed on Grady Newsource, I'm Jackson Rowland.
When we come back, we'll take a look at how a local small business is battling adversity.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
A local restaurant in Athens is closing. We now go there live with Colin Miller to find out why. Hi, Colin.
Thanks, Faith. Now, last week, Cafe on Lumpkin officially announced that they plan to permanently close on November 3rd. So I went in and spoke to some of the employees to learn a bit more about the closure and get their reactions. Take a look.
We've got very loyal regulars, and I'm just sad to see it go.
Serena Martin has worked at Cafe on Lumpkin for over a year, and like many others, is surprised by its closing.
We were all really disappointed to see that. I made some really great friendships here because of how ingrained it was in my life, in my schedule.
Owner Luke Martiniak wrote on the cafe's webpage that their landlords decided not to renew their lease. Instead of staying open, the building will be renovated into a new project. Cafe management says they've done better business this year than last year, which made the closing especially frustrating.
I think that it's definitely made a big impact on, how I see future jobs and like what I think relationships between coworkers and even between customers too. As much as people are going to miss the cafe, we're going to miss them too. Like I was saying, we have really loyal customers, and it was always so much fun to get to know people, and we're just as sad to see it go as everybody else.
Now, Martin, along with the other employees, did not currently have any future job plans, and Powell Property Group, who now own the building, did not care to comment on their future plans for the property. Back to you, Faith.
Thanks, Colin. Not all kids are fortunate over the weekend to have a meal on their table. Grady Newsource reporter Sarah Sims tells us about a program in Oconee that provides meals over the weekend.
As a retired teacher, I don't see any challenges.
Michael and Rosar started Food for Kids to make sure no kid should go hungry. In Oconee County, there are 12 public school systems that the program works with.
And we send bags of food home on Fridays for students across Oconee County. It helps with the weekend hunger gap.
In Georgia, 1 in 5 children face hunger. And for the past 13 years, the program has been able to bridge that gap. Last year, during the first semester alone, they packed 4,200 bags for students.
The Oconee Area Resource Council makes bags just like the one I'm about to make right now every Thursday for students to take home on the weekends. It's filled with milk, cans of soup, mac and cheese, applesauce, and many more things like peanut butter, Slim Jims, and whatever else. They even make allergy kits for students who are allergic to certain items.
Students are referred to Food for Kids by teachers, guidance counselors, and parents to get these meals over the weekend.
For kids to come to school, they need to be well fed. If I can help them get there on Monday morning because they're not so hungry, then that's my goal.
Each week, volunteers like Susan Hogan help pack over 250 bags. It's more than just a service, it also doubles as a vocational training, giving students hands-on experience to help them get jobs.
Well, some of our friends are at the end of their career in education, so we're really trying to set them up for success.
4 volunteers now work in grocery stores around Oconee County.
I just think they find joy in doing this.
And it's not just about the purpose.
The backbone of our program is actually teachers who give money through payroll deduction at school because they see our program work.
Food fuels both body and mind, making it essential to eat well every day to stay sharp and focused, especially for growing kids. For Grady Newsource, I'm Sarah Sims.
There's trouble in the music industry once again. One Direction member Liam Payne passed last week, and fans all over the world are in mourning. Grady Newsource reporter Melanie Levy has more.
Emma Collins, a fan of One Direction going on 12 years, is just one of the band's many supporters who was mourning the death of former member Liam Payne.
I really loved One Direction. I grew up with them my whole life. So sad to see someone die so young.
Her closet walls are plastered with photos of the artist that she gathered throughout her childhood. Once bringing her happiness, the posters now remind her of loss. Liam Payne, the former One Direction member and English singer-songwriter, passed away on October 16th in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The 31-year-old is said to have fallen 3 stories from his hotel balcony. Millions around the world are grieving the loss of this young musician, including his 4 bandmates who have described Payne as family. Zayn Malik took to Instagram saying, quote, "I lost a brother when you left us and can't explain to you what I'd give to just give you a hug one last time." Longtime Directioners are also heartbroken over his death. And although these fans are not a part of his close social circle or family, Arizona-based therapist Katie Pankinen says the grief they're experiencing is real.
Yes, we never met Liam Payne in person, right? We did have a deep understanding of who he was as a person through One Direction. And again, that person becomes basically a part of you just because it was something that you loved. So of course, when we see the news that someone like this has died, that it's going to trigger those immediate grief feelings because again, it was a piece of you.
And a piece of Liam Payne's legacy will live on forever as he leaves behind a 7-year-old son named Bear. For Grady Newsource, Melanie Levy.
Coming up after the break, Grady Newsource reporter Elizabeth Rice will give us the 5-day weather forecast.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Northeast Georgia. I'm Elizabeth Rice, and I'm bringing you your 5-day weather forecast. Starting off, we've got a beautiful week ahead of us with sunshine down the board, as you can see right here. Monday, we had a high of 79 and a low of 47. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will pretty much be the same. And then going into the middle of the week on Wednesday, we'll hit the 80s, which will continue through to Friday. Thursday, we'll have a high of 83. And on Friday, we'll have a high of 80. And just like that, as soon as you thought it was time for sweater weather, this Georgia weather has proved us wrong. Last week, we thought the cold was here to stay with highs in the 60s, and this week we are seeing our highs creeping up into the low 80s. Pretty unusual to have 80-degree weather as we finish out October, but here in the southeast, we're in a unique position where we are trapped between cold and warm fronts, which contributes to the different weather fluctuations day to day. I spoke with meteorology professor Pam Knox to get a better understanding of how these fronts influence weather.
It's the cold air pushing against the warm air, and in between is where the front is. It's when those fronts get close that it really gets interesting, because that's where all the changes are happening.
And like the warring weather fronts, lots of fans thought the Dogs would be on the decline versus Texas, but they rose up and proved the doubters wrong. Our sports anchor, Elizabeth Hunter, has more after the break.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Your home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Happy Monday, Georgia sports fans. I'm Elizabeth Hunter. We're going to start off with horns down. The Georgia Bulldogs welcomed #1 Texas to the SEC on Saturday with a 30-15 beatdown. This win pushed Georgia to the #2 spot in the AP poll and dropped Texas to #5. A lot of controversy was sparked over Texas fans' behavior and the referee calls late in the third quarter when officials ruled a pass interference penalty on Texas. When the flag was thrown, Texas fans started throwing debris and trash onto the field. During this frenzy, the officials decided to reverse the flag. The SEC has since released a statement and given a punishment to the Longhorns for their fans' behavior. The conference fined Texas $250,000 and said that Texas is required to use all methods to identify the fans who threw the debris. They went on to say that if these efforts are not sufficient, they reserve the right to suspend alcohol sales within the stadium. In other college news, the reigning SEC soccer champs are gearing up for the championship that starts on November 3rd. UGA took down Tennessee on Friday, and they have 2 games left before they make their trip to Pensacola to try and defend their title. That's all the time we have for sports today, but stick with us because after the break, Grady Newsource reporter Ryan Lynch will bring us the story behind the annual Sheila Fest in Jackson County.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
The Dutch. Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
And finally, Grady Newsource reporter Ryan Lynch introduces us to a woman who had a vision for a neighborhood music festival after a near-death experience almost 10 years ago.
Her name is everywhere you look. But who exactly is Sheila?
When I had my near-death experience, I came back with a passion for live music like I can't even tell. I don't even know how to describe it.
Sheila Anderson is the founder and namesake of the annual Sheila Fest. After an almost deadly heart attack in 2015, she had a vision for a neighborhood music festival to celebrate life and community.
She's always loved rock and roll music. As a little girl, she played the piano.
Another thing that Sheila says she loves? Giving back.
Our job, it's our purpose in life to give back to people in need.
Each year, Sheila Fest gives to multiple charities, one of them being I Serve Ministries. Co-founder Jeff Grant says the organization will use the money to launch a transitional housing program in Jackson County, where 1 in 10 families experience severe housing problems.
And one of the cool things about Sheila Fest is they've already donated so much money. When we actually build the first cottage, it's going to be the Sheila Fest cottage.
Although the event has grown tremendously, the close sense of a community has stayed.
Yeah, crowd's great. Seems like they're all family, great people. It's no bad vibes.
Sheila doesn't plan on stopping as long as the good vibes stay. For Grady Newsource, I'm Ryan Lynch.
That's all for tonight. My name is Faith James, and we will see you on Wednesday. Have a great night.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, guys, we are on live air. So today was a bit of a challenging day. We managed to be 2 minutes heavy, so we had to cut sports down to 1 minute, and weather was 1 minute. Kudos to our producer, who I thought that was a very hard day on her. Thank you, Christian, for helping with readers, although I had to cut a lot of them because there were no primary sources, so.
I'm pretty sure they were true. I'm 99%
the gut feel. Just go with the gut feel.
Yeah, so we can't, yeah. We've got to do better on Wednesday because we have guests again, people who are checking you out for. And I really, really want you to put your best foot forward, all of you, because you're so talented and you deserve to be noticed. So please try to do better on Wednesday because today was difficult. I don't think I've ever had 4 people with incomplete packages in one day, and we were like, you know, we had to totally cancel Ethan's because it was just one side, just an accusation without the other side. So we really need to think of diversity of sources. We need to think of having all relevant sides. Doing a quick turn doesn't mean that you just have one source and you don't need to tell the full story. Every story needs to have all sides covered, whether it's just with one human source and a statement or something like that. We cannot run things that are one-sided, especially when it's an accusation. And I wanted to commend Sydney, that it came out great. We discussed, and she, I gave her leeway and she incorporated a little bit of what I suggested. I thought you did great. Really liked it. Very well framed shots, close-ups, diverse people you talk to, really important. I think you deserve a Play-Doh. I think you deserve a Play-Doh. I like this one for you. Yeah, and so de-stress with the Play-Doh. And thank you. Yeah, this wasn't easy to get access, and it really added a lot to our show. And I'm really very happy with what you did. I thought our anchor did wonderfully. Just a little smile when you welcome people. Welcome to Newsource. And unleash your hands a little bit, not too much, but don't hold them all the time in front of you. It conveys an image of, I'm not open, I'm not speaking quite to you. And it's more posed than...
I was really nervous.
I know. But for the next one, but you did very well. You look beautiful. I couldn't tell you were nervous.
Thank you.
You were collected. You were an anchor on the show. You anchored it. Yeah. Mel, I watched I watched Wednesdays. I love what Mel does with, you could watch her with her hands. However, I thought you had my problem, too much gestures. Yeah, so look at it again. You have a beautiful natural way of gesturing, but I think just like I do overdo things sometimes, you were also overdoing. So watch those hands. You do a great job. This comes very natural. But when you and I, people like you and I, emphasize every word, we end up de-emphasizing everything. So that was, I just wanted to, before I forget. So, yeah, and I thought your package was very creative in the way you managed to kind of get stuff from here and there and put it together, and you humanized it with that amazing character. She was truly a fan. I don't know how you found her, but she was truly, I mean, when I looked at everything you showed us, those close-ups and everything, that is the way to, be creative with B-roll when you can't go to Argentina to cover the story. So I thought it came together very well. I'll watch, packages again, and if I notice something, I'm trying to help you guys in the final stretch to come up with some strong packages. If I notice anything, I will send you little slacks. And I thought Lizzie and Elizabeth, very well done, the weather and the sports. Lizzie, just be careful with those jump cuts. Pam Knox she jumped at us a little bit.
I thought I can zoom in and out.
I saw that. Yeah. So well done on your first live shot. You were very calm and nice, pleasant. And yeah, we were talking about, I've never had 4 people, come with stories that, did not present all sides. So guys, please, I was telling everybody for Wednesday, all of you are so talented. Bring your best game on Wednesday for our guests. Yeah, so still seeing Zooms, and I saw 2 audios, which we hadn't seen in a while. So I don't recommend Zooms, but audios are like a huge no-no unless this is an exclusive person, you can't get it anywhere else. But audios are not okay for broadcast. Yeah, am I missing anything? Nigel, I thought you were, again, presentation, voice, everything. But again, with you as well, guys, you've got to come prepared with a full story, and do not pitch sports stories unless you have something that's an angle, like Christian's was an angle on substance abuse, and that works because it was a medical story, it wasn't the sports of the day. So you're more than welcome to pitch sports stories. I know you guys love sports, but they have to cover a certain big issue in sports, not the day's news. And yeah, so I'm hoping for a better Wednesday. I want to hand it over to Keisha, and then we'll hear from Noah and from Christian.
I didn't get to talk last Wednesday, so I would say last Wednesday, thank you everyone, because that was my first time producing. Everything was on time. It was great. Probably one of our best shows, if I say so myself. But today, it was, I got 2 sides of the producing, so I got the good and I got the woo today. But I'm still, again, like, I know everyone has their days, so don't beat yourself over this. Like Colleen did really good on your live shot. It came together. Nigel, you have a great anchor voice. It came together. Jackson, everyone talks about your voice too, so
yeah,
you get your kudos for that.
The voice is here.
Kudos for that. And I know I had to cut Ethan's package. I don't know where he is, but yeah, sorry. And then Elizabeth, you did amazing. I know I had to cut it to 1. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I had to cut it to 1, but I'm so sorry about that. But other than that, I'm not like really shaking or anything. So I made it. But yeah, this was a little bit of a challenge. So I thank everyone for helping me. So I really do appreciate it. And we'll do better Wednesday.
I know you will. I know. I believe in you guys. Yeah. And thank you for getting that VO sought, that interview from Albany State. It was a really important story, and it added a lot to our show.
So on the digital side, we had like 4 total things done today. We got 3 up. And it was, I think the stuff we got up was the stuff that we could. We didn't want to put any more pressure on you guys, especially for guys trying to find extra interviews or find another angle of a story. So we tried to ask people who had some stuff kind of like settled in and had a little bit of extra time. So that was the only thing I think we did. Me and Christian did pretty good considering how the day was. I think our priority was making sure that you guys had your packages done for broadcast, and then when you had some extra time, we'd pull you for something extra. So yeah, it was pretty good. I think it was still a better show than the day when Fox came. So that was rough.
Yeah.
It could be worse. It could be worse. So we pulled it off.
We have a lot
It's
of
over.
talent. All the lives, Colin and Nigel, all our anchors also. That added a lot to the show. And so, Christian, do you want to say anything?
I think I'm
You're
good.
good.
Good job.
Yeah. So, Sydney, do you want to share something about your experience and possibly excite other people to do what you did and share with them? That's important.
So Saturday was probably, it was so fun and so rewarding, but it was also deeply stressful. So I yes, encourage you all to go out and do things like that, and find opportunities in the field that you want to report in. My interest is in politics and campaigns, and so I had my eye out for those sorts of things, especially after Riley did her story. I realized that was allowed. But yeah, so there were 2 press risers, and I was on the lower one right by the stairs. Right beside me was Fox 5. Right behind me was the AP. And CBS asked me to stand in for their reporter for a second, so that they could frame the shot and stuff like that. It was an amazing opportunity, just because everyone was so kind and willing to help me out. And CBS gave me a ton of advice, unprompted, but that's okay. I welcome it. And yeah, it was also my first time using any of Jim's borrowed equipment, so I did not know how to use that camera. So I definitely recommend get that sort of thing figured out before you go. I wish I could have fixed my audio a little bit more in the package. But yeah, it was a fun time. So,
well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Timmy, would you like? I just saw that you were here. Would you like to say?
I just had 2 notes for the show, so. Just so I feel bad when I bother you guys sometimes. So when you're done with your scripts, just make sure you update the status to finished. Just because I saw a bunch of things as missing, so I wasn't going around. But then once I actually went in, I saw that they were complete, so that kind of gave me the sign to go forward with my notes. And then the other thing, I think this is for sports. I know that when you do the 1-minute sports and the 2-minute sports, you kind of have those ready just in case the producer decides to cut something. For the 1-minute sports, we didn't get the cue for the OTS image change, and in the 2 minutes it was there. So just make sure that for future shows, if you guys have graphic changes or whatever, make sure that both options are consistent. That way we don't mess anything up on the technical production side. Sorry, I was completely unprepared for the 1 minute. No, you're totally good. Yeah, just always prepare for worst case scenario. But you looked good, it sounded great, and so yeah, that's all I have.
And thank you for a very smooth show with all the elements. Anybody else would like to? No, thank you. Anybody else? You just want to go home?
I know Timmy's back hurt.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, I'm just giving you tough love. I love you all. I think the world of you. And so let's do better on Wednesday. We will have on October 30th, right before Halloween, Dr. Jonathan Peters will come. So please show your best in front of him. He loves coming here and he watches the show. and he shares a lot of interesting things from his life, and it's just a very nice experience. So I've made that like a tradition that at the end he comes, and so try to impress him also, and you'll enjoy his company. So have that in mind as well. And I'm working on a job talk for you guys, and so yeah, I'll let you go, guys. Get some rest, and I look forward to Wednesday.